can't bend. Y'all be playing it safe and I be going for the win. Remember back when they was doubting on the kid. Now they tuned in cause my game too legit.
Fantasy headlines. Nation. Headline nation. Fantasy headlines for the nation. I'm a headliner. I'm a headliner.
Yo. Analytics off the chain. All the channels not the same. Jake and Kyle, you know the name. Headliner Nation, we running the game. Y'all stuck on third down. Your content's plain Jane. Headliners on top now. We gonna move and change. Podcast off the rip. Draft guide, so legit. Fantasy world, our game tight. You know we about that chub life. Stuck in a rut and you need some motivation. Head to the channel for this Headliner Nation.
I'm a headliner.
What is going on, Headliner Nation? I mean, the breaking news couldn't have happened any better, right? We're getting ready to do a live show, and everybody wants to know now about J.K. Dobbins, Kyle. And you and I talked before the show, and we don't want to jump to conclusions, right? Because this can go a couple different ways, and we'll talk about it right here at the start before we get into some of the Q&A. And yeah, it's crazy, right? Because we've loved J.K. Dobbins for this entire, heck, we've loved him since last year. We were expecting a big, I even got my J.K. shirt on today.
We loved him in the draft.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's been conflicting reports. Obviously, there is nothing set in stone as of yet. Everybody wants timetables. Everybody wants to know exactly what's going to happen. But here's the best thing that we can tell you as of right now. We need to wait to find out what the MRI says, because it can be anything from a 4-week hiatus to he could be done for the year. We're hoping for that 4-week at a minimum, right? That's what we're looking for. I hate to see it. Love J.K. Dobbins. Was looking forward to seeing him in that offense this year. If there is no J.K. Dobbins, all of a sudden another name we've been talking about all offseason, Gus the Bus Edwards, becomes somebody who is very, very fantasy viable, Kyle.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. And the things that I've seen on Twitter so far, and haven't had a chance to talk with Ethan yet on this. I don't know if you have or not, but I've seen it could be anything from a hyperextension to where it's maybe 4 weeks.
Yep.
And then I've seen anything to where obviously it could be at like an ACL, and we're talking all season long. So we're really just going to have to monitor it, wait and see what happens. Gus Edwards right now, I mean, he's still a guy that, like you said, we've talked about all off season long. We've got him in the draft guide. We've done videos on him. I mean, the dude is somebody that we said, hey, in the later rounds, you can grab. As of right now, I would hate to say, oh, we're taking him where we were taking J.K. Dobbins in the 3rd round-ish.
Yeah.
But I have a really bad feeling for anybody that's drafting tonight, tomorrow, over the course of the week. Before we hear the J.K. Dobbins news, they're going to be running really, really, really early on him. I would not be surprised to see him in the 3rd or 4th round. If we, in fact, find out that J.K. Dobbins is out all year, then at that point, then I'm expecting him. Yes, I'm taking him probably early 4th is where I would probably go with him at that point.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit earlier than that.
We had a few comments earlier in the night. Hey, what do I do? I'm drafting tonight. What do I do? And the best advice that I can give anybody out there is this. If at the time of your draft, which may be tonight, if you do not know, I'm probably just going to look elsewhere, because here's what 2 things could happen. You could draft J.K. Dobbins, hoping that it's just a 4-week injury, and then you lose him for the season and you've lost your 3rd round pick. You can draft Gus Edwards, who I guarantee you is being skyrocketed up ADP tonight because people are going to a knee-jerk reaction, right? They're just going to throw him to the top, and Gus Edwards, a fringe running back one, take him in the beginning of the draft. What happens if you do that and Dobbins is only out for 4 weeks and you took somebody who's a 10th round pick and you took him in the 3rd? I can't do that. That's a lot of risk. There's some other names that I would rather focus on in that same general vicinity and not have to worry about that. So yeah, it's crazy to think about, but man, hate to lose J.K. Dobbins. I know a lot of people were looking forward to having him on their fantasy team this year. So yes, absolutely hate to hear that. But as soon as we hear any news, we'll make sure we keep you guys updated. But Kyle, we have a lot of fantasy football to talk about because there's a lot of drafts that are coming up here in the next couple days.
It's
next
drafting season, baby. That's what it is
right.
time for.
That's right. I love it. Looking forward to it. We're going to hit the chat heavy and hard tonight. So plus, you know how we do it. We still got draft guides. You know, we hit some light goals here. We'll give away some draft guides. Any draft guides want to be donated to the community? Absolutely. We're all here for it. Looking forward to making sure everybody has everything they need here this year. But Kyle, let's go ahead and
give a little love real quick right off the bat.
Give some love, Kyle.
Right off the bat to David Perry becoming the first new member of the evening here on YouTube. Welcome to Holden Chubb, David. Thank you so much for your support.
Absolutely.
Anybody else, if you're interested in becoming a new member, you can do so right below the video, unless you're on an iPhone. If you're on an iPhone, it's not there. But right below the video, there's a join button, red join button. You click on that. It's $4.99 a month. You're going to get an extra live stream on Sunday mornings only for members during the season. Extra content being posted on the channel. Sweet emojis and badges next to your name. Whew!
Yeah, tons of goodies. Tons of goodies right there. And you know what? I want to make sure that I let everybody know, too. I mean, this is where we're going to try to do our best to keep up with this chat. However, I want to make sure that they know, Kyle, that I got something ready tonight just in case the chat decided to go crazy. Do you know what that is, Kyle?
Do you have the helmet ready?
The helmet, the Let It Flow helmet has come out. Whether or not the chat gets to the point of we're going to use it or not, that's up to them. But hit that like button. Let's get it popping, and we'll let it flow tonight if we need to.
Michael Reed, welcome to Holden Chubb, the newest member. Everyone do me a favor. Throw me a little hashtag David and a hashtag Michael in the chat, welcoming them to the exclusive Headliner Nation. I see, we even see it right there. The Let It Flow emojis are in the chat.
That's right.
Cue Ball becoming a new member of Holden Chubb here on YouTube. Cue Ball, welcome in. Appreciate you. Everybody welcome him. All you current members out there, appreciate it. And Alpha Jerk with the 5 bomb in the super chat. Love the content this summer. Alpha Jerk, really appreciate you. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, we don't go anywhere. We've been here since, 4 years ago, because we don't stop.
That's right. That's right. Seeing a lot of questions saying, hey, my draft is tonight. My draft is tomorrow. My draft is this week. A lot of people talking about, what do they need to do in their drafts? And you know what? We're not going to change up a whole lot here. No, yeah, obviously there's been some sucky injuries the past few weeks to Dobbins and ETN and Cam Akers and stuff like that, but we're still, that only solidifies my heavy running back strategy early because we're starting to lose these guys already. Very few guys are going to be out there. They're going to be workhorses in order to be drafted. So we're still going heavy running back there, but let's get into a few questions.
I did see a question from new member Michael Reed. He wants to know about Tyler Lockett. Just 1 second. I have to put a rubber band back in somebody's mouth.
Oh, okay. Let's see here. Tyler Lockett. I love Tyler Lockett overall. The problem with Tyler Lockett is his inconsistencies, right? So he'll have a week where he'll go out there and he will score 40 points for you because he absolutely blows up. The problem is he disappears for them like 3 weeks and then he comes back and has a big game. But by the end of the year, he's a top 15, top 20 wide receiver. And people always ask us, why isn't he in your top 20? Well, honestly, I want guys that are going to produce like more consistently. I'm not looking for just the occasional, big game. That's what you do for best ball leagues. In normal fantasy football, I'm looking for the guys that a little bit more consistent. Tyler Lockett always going to be that guy, just a little bit inconsistent, but the upside, the ceiling, absolutely huge.
King Sosa with the 10 bomb in the super chat. What's up, guys? 6th pick in a full PPR going with Chubb. Mwah! Forehead kisses for King Sosa.
Whoa.
Gibson and Najee are gone by the time it's my turn in the second. Montgomery, Mike Davis, and Daryl Henderson are left. Who do you got? Love you all. Love you too, King Sosa. I'm going with Demont.
Yeah, I think David Montgomery is the next option for me there, followed by Daryl Henderson and then Mike Davis. I know Kyle loves himself some Mike Davis. He's all about that quad life. But I'm not off of him. I like the potential upside of the other ones a little bit higher. Got some questions about Terrace Marshall. He's absolutely killing it here in the preseason. Love Terrace Marshall. Not taking anything away from him, but make sure that you guys understand that he's doing it against a lot of guys that are probably going to be cut. So I'm not trying to knock him down at all. The kid is an elite talent who we've talked about for months at this point. I think he's going to get a good opportunity in this offense, but don't go out there and expect Justin Jefferson numbers right off the bat.
And one thing real quick, I just want to say this out loud for everybody. So we've got a couple of questions that already have come through. One about Tyler Lockett. Evan Kingdon just threw a 2 bomb in the super chat. Is Packers tight end Tonyan a bust this year? And I've also seen 2 questions on DJ Moore so far. Just so everyone knows, the draft guide is still available for purchase, and all of those names, well, Tonyan and Lockett, they're in there. So if you're looking for in-depth breakdowns on a lot of these guys, make sure you're still getting your draft guide. You can get it. It's automatically delivered. You get it right away. You just got to go in and sign up for your account and everything. So if you're going to be drafting anytime soon and you need a little extra help, thefantasyheadliners.com, and you can get your draft guide right now. But for Evan, to answer your question about Tonyan, is he a bust for me? At one point, I was actually talking to TJ about this last night while I was on the gaming stream. I was talking to TJ a little bit about it because I've taken Robert Tonyan in a couple of drafts, but he said, hey, Kyle, you have Robert Tonyan listed as a bust in the draft guide. Now, I'm not going to say exactly everything because that's for that information. But I will say that at one point in time, Robert Tonyan's ADP was too spicy for me. It has started to fall, though. So is he a bust for me? If you're taking him as like the tight end 10 or something, I'm not really looking at him potentially as a bust that far back. But if we're talking about he's like tight end 6 off the board, that's a little too much for me because Randall Cobb is going to soak up a lot of those targets that he had last year. And Robert Tonyan was highly touchdown dependent on top of that.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing is he was super efficient. Don't get me wrong. I think the guy, don't call me, I think he had like 59 targets and 52 receptions. The guy was like, if it was thrown his way, he was going to catch it. And I have a feeling it'll be that same way this year, but if he doesn't reach that double-digit touchdown mark, it's just going to be a little bit more dicey for him. I'm not completely off of Robert Tonyan, but just like Kyle said, I have to get him at the right spot in the draft. I don't want to reach for him and expect last year's numbers.
David E., I appreciate the prayers. He wanted to make sure that my ankles were doing okay.
Why would your ankles not be okay, Kyle? What happened to your ankles?
I don't know, Jake. Moving on, Carl Anderson with the 5 bomb in the chat. Quarterback, 2 running back, 3 wide receiver, and a tight end. Created to position tight end eligible. Okay, so you can start any combination of 3 wide receivers and tight ends. Makes sense. And 2 flex positions. As wide receiver prioritized more in this format, should I focus more on wide receiver over running back? Well, listen, Carl, you've come to the right place. Appreciate your 5 bomb. I don't think that there would ever be any type of a situation where I would prioritize wide receivers over running backs, because running backs you're going to lose out on the top running backs a lot quicker. Jake, what is your excellent stat that you gave out during the expert mock draft at the Expo?
So that stat is if you don't take a running back in the first 2 rounds, the likelihood of you landing a top 12 running back later on in the draft reduces by 66%.
Woo!
That is a good stat to remember. So take the running backs early. That's why a lot of people will have we'll take running backs early. This is why. Like, we're giving you the reasons as to why. Yeah, sure. We're going to have those 0 RB truthers that are going to say, we're going to find a guy throughout the year. It happens every year, and you're exactly right. but you have like a 1 in 10, 1 in 12 chance of landing that guy throughout your waiver wire. And if you don't, you miss out on him. So, I mean, there's just too many variables. I would try to, rack up those studs a little bit earlier. As for the question about does it really matter if it's 3 wide receiver tight end, does it help wanting to get tight ends? No, not really. Not even for wide receivers, because it's just such a deep position. I mean, you can find borderline starting weekly wide receivers in like the 10th, 11th, 12th round. I mean, that is ridiculous depth. So I'm not reaching too far. First 2 rounds, I'm looking running back unless something crazy happens and Devontae Adams falls to the second round. I mean, I'm not going to be stupid, but I mean, I'm looking for those running backs early.
And not only that, but you can start 4 running backs because you can start 2 flex positions. You don't necessarily have to start wide receivers there. Robert Williams with the 5 bomb in the chat. Just wondering if the perfect draft guide will be updated with new running backs since all the injuries. Also, what are we ripping tonight? Well, Robert, I'll answer both of those questions for you. Will the perfect draft be updated? After this Dobbins injury, yes, I'm going to be taking another look at that. So far up to this point, it hasn't really had an issue where I've needed to rewrite it. But based on this Dobbins injury, I believe I have Gus Edwards tossed in there a couple of places. So yeah, I'll definitely need to rewrite it. So I will be looking at that over the next day or two, and we'll get it pushed out if an update is needed. Robert also wants to know, what are we ripping tonight? Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, okay, real quick, I've got a signed DeAndre Swift jersey behind me that I want to give away. I want to give it away tonight. And how do we do that? You got to subscribe to our newest channel, Headliner Breaks. And I'll put a link here in the chat in just a second. Don't leave. Do not leave this, okay? But if you subscribe to Headliner Breaks, if we hit 350 subscribers over there tonight, I'm going to give that signed jersey away to one of our subscribers. And we're going to be ripping some first off the line 2021 NFL certified, ladies and gentlemen. So it's going to be a banging night. The after party, we're going to go over there and do that. So Robert, appreciate that 5 bomb. Astro Joe's 7th and 10-team standard. Am I crazy to go Kelsey Adams in a standard league? Yeah, I want running backs 115%.
Yeah, you don't want to really rely on pass catchers when you're not getting the bonus for their receptions. So standard leagues, I'm soaking up the likes of the Zekes and the Henrys and the Chubbs now at the 7th spot, you may have a chance possibly at Jonathan Taylor, Najee Harris. Let's see who else may be there. Aaron Jones may be there. There's some options there. I don't know if I'm doing that at the 7th pick in a standard league. What about V Shiafulio? I got CEH in the 5th round. Is that a steal? Abso-freaking-lutely in the 5th round. That is a steal. Neon Gamer said he just subbed. Appreciate you out there, Neon. Or Orion Anders says, I'm on an iPhone with a crying emoji. Yeah. I don't understand the lack of iPhone. Come on, Apple. I mean, really? You can't add a join button? Everybody else even Android's got it.
Oh my gosh.
Michael Reed said he's sub number 303 over there, so it's close.
Woo! I just put the link to Headliner Breaks in the chat, and I've pinned it again. If we hit 330 subs tonight on Headliner Breaks, I'm giving that DeAndre Swift jersey signed away to somebody, and we're going to be over there for the after party. So make sure you come hang out with us when I go live over there to rip some packs open. Joey723, what's up, guys? I appreciate the content. Oh, and that intro music is a lifesaver. Every time my 3-month-old hears it, he will immediately stop crying. That's right.
Perfect.
That's right. He's already a member of Headliner Nation, and he's only 3 months old.
That's right.
Christian Mayanove. I may have messed that up. I feel like I was decently close.
I think when I saw that name, I'm like, there's no way Kyle's getting this right. But I think you were actually pretty close.
I think I was pretty close. Becoming a new member of Holden Chubb Christian. Everybody welcome him into the exclusive Headliner Nation. Casey Sullivan. CJ Sully with the 5 bomb in the super chat. 540 people here. Nowhere near enough likes. Hit that button, ladies and gents. Casey, appreciate you reminding everybody to hit that like button. Over 600 people and only 189 likes. Headliner Nation, hit it for me. Hit it real good.
Scott Russell wants to know if we have the same PC. No, we do not have the same one, but we have similar ones.
Yeah, similar. And who knows? I might go crazy and get another one here. Have a dual PC set up to run that Warzone. Well, I don't know. We'll see.
Is that a need, Kyle?
No. Red Hulk 9.99 in the super chat. Appreciate you, Red Hulk. Rate my team. 10 team Superflex PPR. Herbert.
Love it.
Henry Gibson.
Oh, I got Chubb.
Adams Allen.
Oh, what? Yeah. Love it.
Tight end Everett. Flex
Okay.
Miles Sanders.
Okay.
Superflex Stafford. On the bench, Mike Davis, Tua, Damian Harris, Devontae Smith, and Waddle. That's an A for
Wow.
me. A solid A. Not quite an A plus, but an A.
I want to know how you got Henry Gibson, Adams, and Allen.
Woo.
All of them. I mean, that in a 10, that is ridiculously
Real good.
well played, my friend. Well played.
AP with the 5 bomb in the super chat. Enjoyed the vids this summer. Rate the team I picked today. Ryan Tannehill, Najee Harris, David Montgomery, Chase Claypool, Robbie Anderson, Travis Kelce, Gaskins, Gus, Gage, and Mooney. Especially with the J.K. Dobbins news, your running backs could be just absolute studs this year.
Right.
But I do expect you're going to have to make a trade for a wide receiver. I don't mind those wide receivers, but there could be some weeks where you absolutely dominate at the other positions and you lose close matchups because you just don't get anything from your wide receivers.
And that's
that
really
would
because
be my concern.
Yeah, it's because Claypool and Anderson, they have that high ceiling, but they also have a pretty low floor. So, I mean, it could be, if it's one of those bad weeks, you may only get 3-4 points from those guys. And personally, I would love to take maybe one of those bench running backs that you have and try to get yourself a solid wide receiver too. Just somebody with a safe floor on a weekly basis to make sure all around you're pretty solid.
I mean, honestly, if you have Gus Edwards, you could go right this minute to the J.K. Dobbins owner and sell Gus Edwards for just a ransom.
Yep.
All right. You could bring in a heist. I would not sell him for anything less than a mid to high end, very safe wide receiver too.
Yes.
That's what I would be focused on.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll talk about J.K. Dobbins again in just a minute. I see people, we already talked about him once, but we'll talk about him again just in a minute after we get through some more of these super chats and your questions. Mark Matthews, I have the number 5 overall in a half PPR. And after back-to-back third-place medals, I'm having some pick anxiety. I expect to see Zeke. Thoughts? Yes, I have a draft guide. Mark, glad you made that purchase. Me at that 5 spot, if Nick Chubb is there, I'm going Nick Chubb. If for somehow or another Derrick Henry falls, I'm going Derrick Henry. If Zeke is there, I don't mind Zeke. Personally, if you want a little bit more upside, I'm going Aaron Jones.
Yeah, and that's where I think if you want to play it a little bit safer, you go with Zeke. But if you're trying to shoot the moon, if you're trying to hit the home run, it's Aaron Jones there for Green Bay after Henry and Chubb are off the board.
Matt and Franco wants to know in the chat, if you miss out on the top 6 tight ends, who are you targeting late for tight end? That's a great question. We have talked about Gerald Everett a lot this offseason. We really do like him. I wouldn't say he was a stud, but he was potentially a stud in LA. But then they brought in Higbee, and then he got hurt and Higbee. So it was just a lot of back and forth where the situation just didn't work out for Gerald Everett. But now he's in a situation where he could thrive because Russell Wilson has liked his tight ends in the past. That's a guy that I'm going to be going after late.
Yeah, love Gerald Everett. I can pull up the ADP here. Tight ends after round 10 that I don't mind. Gronk is still in the 10th round. I don't mind that in that offense. I mean, going to be somewhat touchdown dependent, but Tom Brady's throwing him the football, so he's going to have those opportunities. Let's see here. Who else down in that area? We talked about Gerald Everett. Anthony Ferguson is another name. Man, it's a bunch of hit and miss. There's a name that's super late, Kyle, that a lot of people are forgetting about, and it's not sexy, but it's Jimmy Graham. Now, I know Cole Kmet is there, and I expect Cole Kmet to take over, but if you're just looking for a Band-Aid at a time, Jimmy Graham is somebody who severely outperformed what his ADP is here this year. Don't love it, but it's just an option if you have no other options late.
Astro Joe's, another 2 bomb in the super chat. He wants us to rank Gaskin, Hunt, Davis, Harris, and Henderson in a standard league. In a standard league, I'm going to go with Harris.
Yep, Najee
I'm going to
first.
go with Davis. I'm going to go with Gaskin. I'm going to go with Hunt. Or no. I messed that up. Harris.
I'm going Harris, Gaskin, Henderson, Davis, Hunt is how I'm going.
Yes, that's where I'm going with it too.
Harris, Gaskin, Henderson, Davis, Hunt.
I like that. I do like that. Hunt loses a ton of value if it's
Standard.
anything less than half or full PPR. So I like that thought process there. Gaskin and Henderson could potentially flip-flop them. For me, though, Harris is the leader there, especially after the Sony Michel trade.
Exactly.
Miguel Sevilla with the 10 bomb. Just wanted to thank you guys for the draft guide. You guys are the GOATs of fantasy. Miguel was one of our draft guide winners last weekend on the live show. Glad you love it, Miguel. Appreciate you.
Yep.
Gary Hobbs with the 10 bomb. What's up, guys? I am in a half PPR 2-keeper league. I'm keeping Jonathan Taylor and Diggs with the first pick. Should I take Barkley, Tyreek Hill, or Najee? Appreciate you guys. So you already have Jonathan Taylor. You already have Diggs. Me personally, I want Barkley or Najee. You already have your wide receiver one. Give me 2 RB1s as my core to this team.
Yeah. And honestly, I don't think that there's a bad choice. It goes back to your safety versus risk, right? So, I mean, Najee, we know is going to get the volume in a offense that's going to utilize him. I would think that Najee is personally slightly safer, but the ceiling could be higher for Barkley. The problem is coming back from an injury in an offense and an offensive line which isn't great. Now, the offense has drastically improved this offseason, and we all think we know what's going to happen, but can Daniel Jones take that step forward and really utilize all the weapons he has around it to pull defenders outside of the box? That's a question. So I'm fine with either. Personally, if it's me and I'm on the clock at that point, I'm probably going Najee personally.
Dustin Hyman, would you consider Gibson and Harris if draft towards the end of the first round over guys like Eckler, Taylor, Kelsey? How high would you take these running backs? For me personally, I am not taking Travis Kelsey in the first round. Can't do it, won't do it. I understand why you think it's a good idea. I understand why you would like to do it. I'm not trying to talk you out of doing it if that's what you're comfortable with, but there is no way in hell that I would take a tight end in the first round over a guy that would be my locked in stone RB1. So for me personally, I'm going Jonathan Taylor and then Harris and then Gibson in that order. And then, oh wait, you said Eckler too. I'm going to go does he say if it's
PPR.
A full PPR, it's Eckler, Taylor, Gibson, Harris. If it's half or standard, then I'm going to go with like Taylor, Harris, Eckler, Gibson in that order.
Yeah, but I mean, they're all solid options. I mean, whichever ones of those you can get. We're not opposed to any one of those guys.
We're just opposed to any of them after Travis Kelsey.
Right, exactly. Jordan Arrowwood, I've seen his his message come through the chat here. It says, what's the best two QB strategies? And this one, I'm going to kind of sum up here briefly. It really depends on the league in which you're drafting. So you really got to pay attention to your draft board. I personally do not want to take quarterbacks early unless I have to. So in the first round, if you start to see a run on quarterbacks, then you're probably going to have to bite the bullet and take one early. If you don't, I prefer to wait till round 3 and then round 5 or 6 if possible, just because it's a deep position. There's a ton of options, but it really depends on your draft board. If they're going quick, you don't have a choice to grab one. If they're kind of taking their time and everybody's still taking the running backs, the wide receivers, the tight ends, then just hold off a little bit longer and you should be fine.
Prime Tyler G, what are your guys' opinions on David Montgomery? Prime, I'm going to tell you right now, we've been David Montgomery fans. Last year, I did a video like 3 weeks into the season that said trade for him right now. Fantasy football championship winner. Ended up working out really well. I love him. To begin the offseason, we were being careful with where we were at with him because even though we liked him, we knew that Matt Nagy's an idiot. He's not a very good head coach. And on top of that, Tariq Cohen was coming back. But now we found out that Cohen's he's not the same. He might start the year injured. He might not be able to be full strength. It might take a while. Now at this point, we're locked in stone that he's going to get more than enough touches, that he's a guy that is a safe RB2 with a little bit of maybe low-end RB1 upside on weeks that they're winning. Absolutely, I'm locking it in. Love David Montgomery.
I just told everybody in our Discord chat that I hated them.
Jake hates everyone in our Discord chat.
Yeah. They want to know why my face is so... You know what? Maybe it's because I have all your ADP sheets open and everything. Let me close some things here so I don't have to hear about my face being bright. Jeez, trying to have everything
Philip
open
Pollard.
for you guys.
What about Monster and Sermon as round 3? I'm wondering if you mean, Philip, you put RD3, which would be round 3 to me, but I'm wondering if you meant RB3. Is B and D close together? Not really, but
Not
maybe
really.
it was just an accident. So anyway, Philip, if you mean round 3, absolutely not. Way too early. If you mean is your RB3s, don't love it, but also don't hate it either. If you go Monster and Sermon as your RB3s, more than likely you probably waited a little bit too long on running back. That would be my concern.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing is that backfield is going to be a mess regardless, just because they don't commit to one person. It's really the hot hand approach, and there's so many different options. So yeah, it's not really a backfield that I'm targeting on draft day.
Christian Gossin becoming a new member of Holden Chubb, the exclusive Headliner Nation here on YouTube. Christian, appreciate you. Thanks so much. Hey, if you're a member of Headliner Nation already, make sure you welcome him in the chat. We're at 5 new members right now. Jake, if we get another 5 new members, do you think we should give away a draft guide?
How about this, Kyle? If we can get 5 new members, I'll give away 2 draft guides.
If we can get 5 new members here on YouTube, that join button is right down below the video. Baby, we're going to give away a couple of draft guides. Ray Foltz dropping a 2-bomb in the chat. Really
What up,
appreciate
Ray?
you, Ray. Kirion Laney with an 8-bomb in the chat. Should I be going for a QB in the first 2 rounds of a super flex or a 2 RB stack? Is there mid to late round QB value that I can trust? Running the quarterback position is going to be super deep this year. Super deep. In a super flex league, to me, it really depends on where you draft. If you're drafting at the end of the first round, I'm going RB, because by the time it gets back to you at the end of the third, there's not going to be any running backs left. If you're drafting at like the beginning of the first round, and this is a league that highly favors quarterbacks in terms of the scoring, then yeah, Josh Allen, Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, all those guys are in play at that point. But then you got to get your RB3 at the end of or your RB1 at the end of the second, and hopefully another one at the beginning of the third.
Yeah, 100% there. And I'll get through a couple of these super chats here real quick as well. Scott Jung, Scott, I'm sorry. Scott J. We
Sound like
appreciate
me
you
right
out there
now.
with the 5-bomb. Ghassan Ayad says rate half PPR 12 team Herbert, JJ, AJ Brown. So it's Justin Jefferson and AJ Brown, Jamar Chase, Kyle Pitts, Christian McCaffrey, Javonte Williams, Kyle Pitts again. We got 2 Pitts. James Conner, Michael Pittman. You are all about the Pitts here. Everybody with the last name of Pitt is on your roster. Mooney, St. Brown, Marshall. I'm guessing that's Malcolm Brown, Tua, and then Sanders as your kicker. Overall, super solid lineup. I'm a little bit worried about your running back depth. I mean, obviously you have Christian McCaffrey, which is great, but after that, it's going to be a hit or miss with Javonte Williams, James Conner type backfield. I mean, James Conner should be great if he's healthy, but it's James Conner. Does he stay healthy? There's those questions. Javonte Williams going to have to deal with Melvin Gordon earlier in the season, more so than later on. So that RB2 spot may be a little bit iffy for you. But outside of that, overall solid team. Go ahead.
Greg Spurgeon.
Greg Spurgeon.
You were getting ready to say it. I jumped in there. Devontae Adams for a first keeper or CD Lamb for a 6 keeper. Have a late pick, full PPR keeper league. I'm keeping Devontae Adams. Really, really good value on CD Lamb there, but I can't let maybe the wide receiver 1 overall back into the draft.
Yeah, and that's because he has a late pick. So hopefully if you have that late pick, that means you have an early pick in the second, and that's where you can grab the best available running back.
Jason Moa, Irv Smith or Hunter Henry, Jalen Waddle or Jay Smith. Who would Jay Smith be?
I'm guessing it's Jonnu Smith because it looks like a tight end. We got 2 tight ends and then a receiver and a tight end on the other one. I'm guessing it's Jonnu Smith.
Irv Smith Jr. is going to have probably more upside than Hunter Henry. There is a possibility that Hunter Henry ends up being a little bit safer. Obviously, if Jonnu Smith were to go down, Hunter Henry becomes a locked in stone tight end 1. And then if you've already picked one of those guys, I'm not going to go with Jonnu Smith. I would go with Jalen Waddle at that point. Hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah. Jameson Lundstrom. Appreciate you out there, Jameson, with the 10-bomb. Please rate quarter point PPR. Got Mahomes, Allen Robinson, Thielen. Like that. Aaron Jones, DeAndre Swift, Gerald Everett, James Conner, Devin Singletary, Melvin Gordon, with Juju, Darrell Williams, Marvin Jones Jr., and A.J. Green. Overall, I love that team. Overall, the running back depth, once again, a little bit hit and miss if DeAndre Swift just doesn't get committed to. I just hope the Lions don't screw that one up.
Oh, yeah.
It's the Lions, though, so I mean...
Oh. Clay C with the 5-bomb. Edwards owner here looking to trade with the Dobbins owner who has Dalvin Cook. Should I pair Edwards and Elliott in a trade for the upside in Dalvin Cook? I mean, here's the thing about that. If you pair those two guys together and for some reason the news comes back that Dobbins isn't going to miss the entire season, you've now traded an RB1 and potentially an RB2.
Yeah.
That's a little bit too much for me. I'm probably not making that trade right now. I wouldn't be opposed to you trading Edwards, but I would want to trade him for somebody with standalone value to keep Elliott.
Let's see here. Roberto Cotto. He's donating a draft guide. He wants to donate a draft guide to some spicy dudes. Or are we the spicy dudes? We're spicy dudes.
I mean, we're the spicy dudes, but the people should tell us in the chat while they're the spiciest person in the chat tonight.
Yeah.
And then we'll give the draft guide to one of our favorite answers.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. Well, if you're feeling spicy, tell us why in the chat. We'll pick the most spiciest and give away a draft guide. Thanks to Roberto.
William Woodward, welcome. New member to Holden Chubb. We're at 6 now, 4 new members. We're going to give away 2 more draft guides. Well, everybody, welcome William in the chat. Donquise Marzette traded Curtis Samuel for Brandon Cooks. Is that cool? Also, thoughts on Michael Carter? Me, I'm taking Curtis Samuel 100% there because
Agreed.
I don't see how Deshaun Watson plays at this point anytime soon. So I'm taking Curtis Samuel. And then thoughts on Michael Carter? I like him, but I think it's going to take time for him to take that role and be that guy.
Yep, agreed. Now, we're going to circle back here. We've been live streaming for 36 minutes. We're going to circle back to the J.K. Dobbins news in case you just tuned in. And this is what we're really saying here, okay, is it's still unknown until we get the results of the MRI. There's 2 different ways this can go. It can be a best-case scenario, which could just be like a PCL sprain, which is looking right around a 4-week time frame. That's best-case scenario as of right now. Worst case scenario, as we know of right now, could be an ACL tear, and he could be done for the year. If you're drafting tonight, if you're drafting tomorrow before the news comes out, whenever you're drafting, you have to make the decision at that point, right? Because you don't want to just blindly make that decision without knowing all the facts. There's just too much risk involved. This is going to skyrocket the ADP of Gus Edwards, and I guarantee you there are drafts going on right now in this world, and people are taking Gus Edwards way too high because the news just broke today. It's like flavor of the day, right? So they're going to really jump on that bandwagon quick. Don't fall victim to that. There may be better options in the draft until we get more news. Now, if J.K. Dobbins is ruled out for the year, 100% Gus Edwards needs to be in, I'm going to say late 3rd, early 4th round territory. If Dobbins is going to miss 4 weeks, sure, that'll bump up Gus Edwards a hair, but not a whole lot. If anything, that would be a great buy value time, buy the dip of J.K. Dobbins. If he falls past that 4th round, throw him on your bench. Hopefully you have an IR spot. You put him there for 4 weeks, and then you move forward. But we really need to wait and see on the results of that MRI before you make absolute decisions, because it could go either way at this point.
We've got 679 people watching, but we only have 300 likes. I mean, Jake, you think if we get like 500 likes, you let it flow?
Yeah, 500 likes and I will let it flow.
500 likes and Jake is going to let it flow. So first up, just start. I need to see some let it flow emojis in the chat. I got to see that first and foremost. Okay. Now I'm going to go back and start reading some of the spiciest comments in the chat. Jake, if you want to answer some more super chats, I'm going to do that real quick. I'm going to find us a winner.
Okay, you do that. Let's see here. We left off right here. Dustin Hyman, new to the Chubb Club. Keep up the great work, Dustin. Appreciate you. Brian Whitaker. All of my leagues have 5 bonus points for 100-yard rushing or receiving and 300-yard passing games. Also, passing touchdowns are 6 points. Should this change my strategy? And this is where maybe I'm the one that's different. And if I am, Kyle, I'm sure will tell me. But my difference with the scoring is it doesn't really matter to me because it's relative to everybody in that league. All quarterbacks are getting that bump. Now, sure, you're going to obviously want to draft the guys who are going to throw for the most yards and the most touchdowns, but how is that any different than how you normally draft? You should always be trying to draft the guys that, want, the high touchdown numbers and the huge yardage totals. That's what we're always trying to get anyway, so nothing should change there. The 100-yard rushing, that's what we're looking for anyway, right? We want those guys that are going to get that. So I don't think it changes a whole lot because I've never gone into a draft and said, I'm going to draft a guy who gets 80 yards a game. Like, that's not what I'm looking for. So nothing should really change, in my opinion, when we're going for it, regardless of the scoring. The whole league has the same scoring. OG Paulie D, what's going on? I appreciate the 2-bomb. John, oh man, John, if I mispronounce your last name, my deepest apologies. John Goye. Goy. John Goy. That's what I'm gonna lock it in. Final answer. John Goy. Welcome to Holden Chubb. Just a dude, man. He is back. Just a dude, man, is somebody who's been in this chat for a long time. We appreciate you becoming a member of Holden Chubb. 2 members away from giving away 2 draft guides. Our boy Kane, our very own Kane. Hair ranking. 1, Jake. 2, Chouse. 3, Kyle. So Kyle, you've finished 3rd in the hair ranking competition that Kane has submitted. How do you feel about that?
Well, Kane just ended up finding himself a new website to write for tonight.
What I'm kind of concerned at is, where do we throw the doc into that mix? Because the doc has got some luscious locks too. Does the doc push you to number 4?
F that.
Anyway,
F that.
Most dope. We see that 5-bomb. We appreciate you. Gus Edwards was just taken at the 5.4 in his draft. It's early, right? Now, if J.K. Dobbins ends up being ruled out, you got yourself a steal. But if J.K. Dobbins comes back, that person overpaid. So that's where it's really iffy right this second. Josh Chapman, rate it 10 team PPR. Brady and Trey Lance. I like that. Elliott, Mixon, Montgomery, and Gus Edwards. Love that. Justin Jefferson, Cooper Kupp, Jerry Jeudy, Kenny Galladay, Darnell Mooney, Devontae Smith. Love that. George Kittle and Tyler Higbee. And then the Washington football team defense. I don't see any weaknesses in that team. I really don't. I overall love that team, to be completely honest. I would take that team 100% of the time. I think Jerry Jeudy is somebody who probably needs some more attention here, Kyle. With the naming of Teddy Bridgewater being the quarterback in Denver, I think Jerry Jeudy is the one that really benefits more than Cortland Sutton. Yep. Not to mention that, but also KJ Hamler in the slot could be sneaky good for Denver at times.
Yep, no, 100%. I've got a winner.
You got a winner. I gotta write it down.
I've got a winner.
Who's got the spiciest?
Longtime commenter, super active in all of our videos, Vixen Foxtail. She said she's feeling spicy because she's PMSing and she's stuck in a room full of men.
Wow.
So I'm picking her because I could only imagine that is probably not a whole lot of fun for her right now.
Yep. Zach A says, please answer my super chat. And I believe we did earlier, but I'll talk about it again here. It says, pick 2 late round, James White or Jamal Williams, and then Mark Ingram versus Michael Carter. If it's me, a late round stash. Doesn't say if it's PPR or standard. I'm probably going with Jamal Williams and Michael Carter. I'm not going to trust Mark Ingram in a backfield in Houston. He's been hurt for years. James White, love James White, but the problem is they just don't commit to anybody there, and Damian Harris really seems to have that backfield locked down. We know, Cam Newton's going to utilize. They just don't utilize James White like they did with Tom Brady in town. All right.
Vixen. Email us, info@thefantasyheadliners.com.
Oh, yeah, my bad. I started talking before you said that.
No worries. Scott June becoming a new member of Holden Chubb.
Only one more.
9 members. One more. And we're going to give away 2 more draft guides. 1 more and 2 more draft guides. Joey723 with his second 10-bomb of the evening. Joey, appreciate you. 10-team mock from the 10 slot prior to the Dobbins injury. PPR 2 flex. Chubb, Jones, Monty, Dobbins, Kupp, and Juju to start. Injury aside, should I pass on one running back and add in a Robinson, Woods, Evans at wide receiver? How are those guys still available?
That's what my question was. Like, how are they? If you got Chubb, Jones, Monty, Dobbins, Kupp, and Juju, how are Robinson, Woods, and Evans even an option unless these were like a bunch of keepers that you had to start the year? being that you have Chubb, Jones, Monty, and Dobbins, technically we don't know about Dobbins, so you only have Chubb, Jones, and Monty. I'm thinking you can start all three of those guys on a weekly basis. So I probably, I don't know. I'm confused. Obviously, if Allen Robinson is there at this time, he's my choice, if that's the case. But I don't know. I don't see how that's possible. Hopefully we helped somewhat, Joey. I don't know how you got all those, but I mean, I think that you need more, at this point, more wide receiver help than you need running back help.
Don't forget, we're only 417 likes now. If y'all don't know what Let It Flow is,
I haven't done it in 8 months, Kyle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all need to hit the like button. Like 500 likes, Jake's going to let it flow. Listen, you're missing out on something special if you're choosing not to hit the like button right now. Just a dude, man, with the 5 bomb in the super chat. Glad to be holding Chubb. Good to be back for this year. Let's make some money. Hey, go.
That's what I'm talking
Just
about.
Dude, man, appreciate you. Thank you so much. Joseph Bumgartner, thoughts in a 12-team half PPR 12th pick. Russ, Eckler, Gibson, A-Rod, Thielen, Thielen, Everett, Henderson, Sermon, Edwards, Singletary, Jamal
Williams, and
Gabriel Davis, Jamal Williams, Gabriel Davis, Traquan Smith. Love it, especially in a 12-team. That's really solid for a 12-team.
Yeah, for a 12-team league, in order to get Eckler and Gibson and still get Allen Robinson, Adam Thielen, and Darrell Henderson. I mean, yeah, those are some great picks.
Gassin Ayad. Since my team is weak on running back, CMC, Malcolm Brown, Connor. If Pittman, Mooney, or Chase break out, what running back do you think I can trade for in a half PPR? I'm going to be honest with you. I can't answer that question because I don't know. Because if they do break out, I have no idea who's going to be somebody who's going to be in that value area for them at that point in time. More than likely, if one of those guys break out, they're not going to be anything more than maybe a high or like a low end wide receiver 2, high end wide receiver 3. So even if that's the case, you're probably going to be looking for somebody in the same area. So like one guy that comes to mind is like Nyheim Hines. Like you might be able to trade one of them but you're not going to be able to get like any top tier running backs. Or maybe if Mostert's, playing well, but not the lead back because Sermon is still getting quite a bit of touches. Maybe you can get a guy like him that's a little bit more boom or bust. So that would basically be my thoughts on it.
Yeah, it's really hard to know also like who could you trade for because we don't know what the other teams look like in your league. You have to try to find a team that has that running back depth that will even consider a trade for running back. So that's where it kind of comes into play as well. Christian Moyanove. Oh, man, now I had a chance at it. Let's see here. Appreciate that 5-bomb 10th pick. Half PPR. Taylor Gibson, A-Rob, J-Rob. Going back-to-back Rob Roberts. Hunt, Dak, Debo, Davis, Edwards, Tunyon, Gage, Myers, Winston. Thoughts? So right now, your only quarterback is Jameis Winston. At least we know he's starting, so I don't hate that. Do I think he comes off the field at times for Taysom Hill? Absolutely. They removed Hall of Fame quarterback Drew Brees at time for Taysom Hill, so you better believe Jameis Winston will come off the field at times. Taylor and Gibson, I love. A-Rob, Allen Robinson, James Robinson, love that. You're stacked at running back. Oh, you have Dak also. Dude, you're good. Don't worry about it. You're solid. 100%. Love that team.
I keep seeing a lot of comments right now saying, how do we have almost 700 people watching and we're not at 500 likes yet? Ladies and gentlemen, the chat is even noticing that you all aren't hitting the like button enough. What are we doing tonight, Headliner Nation? I'm going to put a minute on the clock. I want 500 likes or I will riot.
Wow.
That's Dr. Quadmaster 4000 with the 2-bomb. Simple question. Jones or Eckler? It's Jones for me.
Jones for me. It says PPR there, but Jones still has a PPR upside, so I still got Jones a hair above Eckler.
Yep. Megas 11 with the 5-bomb, wanting to pick a tight end from our reserves. Smith, Ertz, Ingram, and Everett are all there. Who would you pick? I'll take Gerald Everett.
Yep, I agree, 100%.
Especially if you already have somebody.
Yep.
Jake, we've hit 10 new members. Actually, we're at 11 new members, so we're going to have 2 draft guides to give away.
That's right.
Ed Miller and Martin.
Do what? Martin. Oh,
Jaraguay,
maybe.
possibly. Do me a favor, everybody, if you're a part of the exclusive Headliner Nation here on YouTube, if you're a member, toss some emojis up. Welcome Martin and Ed to the exclusive Headliner Nation. Jake, did you receive an email from Ray?
Like recently? Let me look.
Ray, he's going to check right now.
I'm checking
Ray,
right now.
Appreciate the 2-bomb.
Ray, I do not have any email. I have not seen an email from you, Ray. But Ray is a winner of a signed CEH jersey, in which I did mail like this week or the end of last week. I don't remember which one it was, but it's in the mail if you haven't gotten it, Ray.
There you go, Ray. Let us know if you need anything else. Ed Miller, who just became a member of Holden Chubb and Gibson all day, every day, baby. Who doesn't want them? Ace Caesar dropped a little 5-bomb in the chat. Ace, we appreciate you. Eric Angelus throws a little 5-bomb in the chat. Eric, appreciate you as well. Cue ball. How do we feel about Chubb for 5th pick in the first round, half PPR 12-team league? I'm taking him right there every single day. And I'm going to, at the end of the season, count those dollar bills that are going to be flying all over the place, baby.
Whoa. Kyle.
It's time.
We hit 500.
First one.
Are you all caught up on super chats or no?
One just came in. Neon Gamer 0405. I'm picking 11th overall in a 12-person half PPR league. Who should I target with my first 2 picks? I'm going running back. I'm looking for anybody that could fall to the end. Najee Harris, Antonio Gibson, Aaron Jones, like guys in that area. Those are the ones that I am going for right there towards the end of the first round. And I'm getting back-to-back running backs, baby.
Kyle, I'm strapped in for safety, Kyle. How are we going to do this? Like, usually we put like a minute on the clock and then I end up ignoring your timer. But I'm really worried for my own personal well-being that this is the first time I've done this in 8 months and I may pass out earlier than usual.
Okay, I'm not going to put a timer on it.
If I start to fade or slur my words, will you stop me?
Yes, I will.
Okay. Whew,
ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in 2021, Jake has the helmet on. It is time for the most entertaining segment in the fantasy football industry today. In 5, 4, 3, 2, let it flow.
All right, here we go. I see Roy Kim keeps saying Mixon sucks. The only people that say player sucks are those that are sitting on their couch that can't do anything else. Dr. Quadmaster 4000 wants to let it flow. So we are letting it flow right now. 18 full PPR strategy with the 4th pick. It's an 18 PPR draft. You're going to be stacked no matter what. Take those running backs early. You're still going to end up with great wide receivers anyway. Mixon or CEH half PPR. That's going to be close. In the half PPR right now, I think Mixon is slightly safer, but CEH has the higher ceiling. If it's me, I'm going with CEH. Mike Davis or Damian Harris in the standard leagues. Give me Damian Harris now that there is no Sony Michel. Derek Pena says, hi, Mark. He does it in all of our video comments. So what's going on, Mark? Trade Gus Edwards for Mike Evans. Ethan, right now, it's not a bad trade because we just don't know. Even if he does turn out to be the guy for the year, high-end running back 2 for a wide receiver 2, so it's not a bad move. If you need wide receiver help, absolutely. My league has 3 wide receiver slots. What do you think about it? Dr. Mayhem, I think it's pretty cool. What about Jake, the new offensive line for the Panthers? I could definitely play offensive line. Actually, no. People have seen my one-handed ball tracking skills, Kyle, and that over the shoulder catch on the go route. I think I'm more of a tight end these days, the football kind, of course. Let's see, 6 pick PPR. Who would you pick? I'm looking for Henry. I'm looking for Chubb. I'm looking for Aaron Jones right there. Damian Harris or Chase Edmonds. I'm still going with Damian Harris. I think he gets more volume with no Sony Michel. Harris or Gibson at 2, bud. Pick in standard. I still am going to go with Antonio Gibson. I think he's still got a higher ceiling at this point. Get loud, Jake. Get hyphy, chat. Hit the like. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to do. Hit the like button. Let's see here. One game, Gus or Miles Sanders. What game are we playing here, Vinicius Marangon? I don't know what game you're talking about. So much flow, I just can't go. That's how I feel at time. Balls to the wall, or you better believe it, Archangel. What your pick after Dobbins' injury? With Dobbins not there, I'm looking for more like David Montgomery, maybe CEH if he falls in that same area. Jamar Chase or Jerry Jeudy. Honestly, with the news of Teddy Bridgewater taking over, I kind of like Jerry Jeudy a little bit more. Let's see here. What about thoughts on Callaway? Marquez Callaway. Love Marquez Callaway. I just had my dog walk into the room for me here. Come here, dog. Come here, dog. Oh, he's terrified. He's terrified. Come here, dog.
Terrified of the helmet.
It is the helmet. But I have to put him up here. Because, if you can see it, even our dog's name is Chubb at this point. Let's see here. What else do we got? I love Jake and Kyle so much. Orion, we love you too. Let's see here. Trade James Conner for his Edwards. Pretty sure you mean Gus Edwards. No, I wouldn't make that trade just yet. We have to really see what's going on. You don't want to lose out on things. Chubby! That's right. Anna sees Chubby. It's Chubby the puppy. Your thoughts on Callaway? Again, Marquez Callaway. Sorry, I didn't answer that because I picked up a dog, I guess. But Marquez Callaway really seems to be the deep threat guy in this offense with Jameis Winston under center. Absolutely think he's a steal in some drafts right now. Let's see here. Everybody's laughing at the dog. Dog emojis in the chat. Dog emojis in the chat. Dak or Kyler in a PPR? Well, PPR doesn't matter because they don't catch passes, but I'm still going with Kyler by a hair. Do you think Tyler Lockett can do it this year? Do you think Tyler Lockett can do it this year? I think he can do it good. Let's see. You like Bryan Edwards? I do like Bryan Edwards. The Las Vegas Raiders really have a bunch of young guys that have that potential to break out, right? But we just haven't seen it yet, and we're hoping for it. But I think he's got as good a shot as any. Let's see here. Anton. Jake, who is a smoky running back pick off the waiver wire that not many people are paying attention to? Oh, now you're making me. Let's see here. How about we go Wayne Gallman? That's a name that a lot of people probably like, what the hell is he talking about, Wayne Gallman? But we're talking about San Francisco running backs, and that dude produced in New York last year. He could do it in San Francisco if given the opportunity. Kamara or Zeke at 6. In a full PPR, I'm going Kamara there. Mock draft or cold draft? Phil? It's football season, Phil. I'm mock drafting. That was Doge Chubb. You better believe it was Doge Chubb. Let's see here. Dogecoin to the moon. Confirmed. Trade Michael Thomas away for Cup in a half PPR Dynasty League. Did I win? You didn't lose. I don't know if you really won, but you didn't really lose. So I don't hate that. Orion, still telling people to hit that like button. 543 likes, 662 people watching. You need to hit the like button. Thoughts on Deebo? I love Deebo Samuel. I'm screaming it from the mountaintops now. I love Deebo Samuel. I do not want to put too much stock into what I heard at the Expo, but I did speak to somebody at the Expo who actually drove the car for the Hall of Fame speech. Man, I'm not even, I don't want to throw his name out there because if it's wrong, I don't want to bury somebody. So I'm not even, but they love Deebo Samuel. Okay. They love Deebo Samuel in San Francisco, and Brandon Ayuk has struggled at times in camp. That's all I'll say with that. Let's see here. Michael Reed just says Trey Sermon. Yeah, Trey Sermon is there, but if they want to work a rookie in, slower like they do all over the NFL, that's where Wayne Gallman could be a thing. Steak or scallops? 100% steak. Would you stash Rashad Penny and Alexander Madison? If I had a deep enough bench, but I don't want to take up bench spots if it's a shallow bench because I may need those spots throughout the season. Those guys are really, injury dependent. Thoughts on Mixon? I think Mixon is still underrated. He's going to get a buttload of touches. There's very few running backs that are going to get that amount of volume, so I'm still on board with Mixon. Number 5 pick, who do you take? Still, Chubb, Henry, Aaron Jones, Alvin Kamara, Zeke Elliott, any one of those guys that are sitting there, I am fine with. Forget Dogecoin, buy XRP. Okay. Let's see here. Woods or Thielen? Give me Woods. Allen Robinson or CeeDee Lamb in a PPR? Man, right now I'm going Allen Robinson just because we know Dak is not a completely 100%. Like it up, like it up, like it up. You better believe it, Archangel. You got to wear an oxygen monitor for Let It Flow. James, I really do because I'm seriously sweating under here right now. Like the video, peeps, it says, hey, Chubb, Pug Daddy says, best advice for a 12-team league, draft running backs early. Amon-Ra getting a ton of targets this year. I think he could really excel in that offense. There's not a whole lot of targets for him to compete with outside of TJ Hawkinson. I think he's a young stud that could actually surprise some people. Kamara and Henry in a full PPR? Henry is still the safer option, but it's a full PPR. I'm going to go with Kamara. DeAndre Swift or Josh Jacobs? Right now, I'm going to go with DeAndre Swift and hope the Lions don't screw it up. Lockett or Julio? Honestly, I'm probably going Julio. What about trade James Conner for Gus Edwards? We've already talked about that. That's a risky trade because we just don't know too much yet. I'm trying to stay away from all things Baltimore until I find out more information. Thoughts on Jonathan Taylor? I love Jonathan Taylor. I really wish they wouldn't have brought Marlon Mack back. A lot of people think that means absolutely nothing, but why would they bring him back? They loved him beforehand. Not that he's going to go out there and take all the volume away from him, but even if he comes in and gets 5 carries a game, that's 5 carries that could have went to Jonathan Taylor. And I'm done, Kyle.
Whew. Michael Reed with the 5-bomb in the super chat. 10-team PPR. Mahomes, Henry Mixon, Calvin Ridley, Deontay Johnson, Mark Andrews, Andrews, T. Higgins, and Devonta Smith in the flex. Thoughts? That is a very, very, very strong team. Ginger Fit Dad, fit the 5 bomb in the super chat. Going for that repeat. Josh Allen, Chubb, Robinson, Diggs, Carson, Fant as my starters. Whew. Whew. Carson is your RB2 is great. Those wide receivers are perfect. Josh Allen. Fant is the only one I'm worried about. I don't love Fant right now just because there's so many people. It does help a little bit that Teddy Bridgewater is the starter, though, so I will say that. Just a dude man with the 10th pick of 10. Herbert, D-Hop, CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Ayuk, Chubb, Dobbins, Kyle Pitts with Robinson in case Dobbins can't go. Thoughts on the starters? I mean, it looks good. If Dobbins hadn't gotten hurt, you're looking really, really good. But now that Dobbins is hurt, RB2, James Robinson, that could go either way. Hopefully you've got some decent depth on the bench. I would look into potentially trading for Gus Edwards, but let's wait and see what happens with Dobbins, unless you can get him a little bit cheaper than what I would expect you could right now. Jay Ruiz with the 5 bomb. Kyle, check the Twitter inbox. I just checked it. Team looks good. A little bit worried about your depth. I wish there was more depth there, but your starters are looking very solid. Blondes Hedge. I have the 6 picks in the draft. How would you draft Blondes? It's the same thing we basically tell everybody. I am going with running back. I don't want anything else other than running back right there. Wave with the 5 bomb. 12-team PPR keeper league. Dak, CMC, Mixon, Godwin, A.J. Brown, Hawkinson, Lamb, Ayuk, Javonte Sermon. Thoughts? There's a whole lot of upside on that team right there. The one thing I would say is that you're kind of lacking in the running back depth department a little bit, unless Sermon and Javonte Williams get quite a bit of work. If they don't, then you're going to struggle there. But I like your wide receivers, quarterback, tight end, looking good. Tom Robbins with the 10 bomb. Rate my team, 12-team standard. Can only start 2 running backs. Rodgers as quarterback, A.J. Brown, Deontay Johnson, Robbie Anderson, Jamar Chase, Hardman, Rager, Edwards, and Chenault as wide receiver, Kittle at tight end, Cook, Edwards, Javonte Williams, and Singletary at running back. I'm assuming you mean Gus Edwards. I mean, Gus Edwards, if Dobbins is out, perfect. If not, your running backs are going to be really, really thin, Tim. That's going to be tough to come back from. What I would do is after Jamar Chase balls out for a game or two, probably trade him for one. Joe Lopez becoming a new member here of Holden Chubb on YouTube. Appreciate you, Joe. Isaac Cordova with the 10 bomb in the super chat. Opinions, please, guys. In a standard league with no flex, Brady, Kamara, Jonathan Taylor, A.J. Brown, Mike Evans, Kittle, Colts. Love y'all. Isaac, love you too. I like that in a standard league. I would have been interested to see how you got Kamara. Who did you take Kamara over? In a standard league, I don't love Kamara as much. I would have much rather had Chubb or Henry, but really it depends on where you took them. Those guys might have already been gone. Evans and A.J. Brown are studs in PP or in a standard league though. 10-team PPR and point per completion QB, 2 flex instead of a tight end spot. Kyler Murray, CMC, Eckler, Amari Cooper, Godwin, CEH, Boyd, Ravens defense, Chenault, Davis, Logan Thomas, Sutton, Pittman, Williams, Rager. Thoughts? Wide receiver is weak. So it is a point per completion. You've got Kyler Murray like that. As far as in a PPR, Eckler is going to eat, CMC is going to eat. I wouldn't say your wide receivers are weak. I would say that there is a little bit of risk associated with either of them. Corey Davis could end up turning into be a sneaky little play most weeks. So don't mind that one. Diamond Cajones with a 10 bomb in the super chat.
Cojones.
Grade me. What?
Just cojones.
Cojones.
You got to say it with a little
Grade
bit of
me
row.
and a half-point PPR. Quarterback Lamar Jackson, Cam Newton. I don't want anything to do with Cam Newton right now, even as a backup. Hopefully it's not a 2 QB league or super flex. Running back, Najee Harris, Chris Carson, Henderson, Penny, Bernard. Wide receiver, Hill, Cup, Anderson, Davis, Cooks. Tight end, Jonnu. I don't mind it. I like it. Hopefully Harris and Carson can both stay healthy and play an entire season. Hill and Cup should be very good for you. After that, it gets a little bit thin. You listed 2 quarterbacks. I don't know if this is a super flex or a 2 quarterback league. If it is, I'm getting Newton off my roster and I'm getting somebody else.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Mac Jones is going to have that job at some point, 100%. So,
Jake.
Yes.
I need you to take over for a second. I will be right back.
That's fine.
So
It's
sorry.
a perfect timing because as I have recovered
sorry.
from letting it flow for the first time in 8 months, I want to give a quick shout out, I'm going to bring on camera my daughter here real quick. It was her birthday this week, and she asked if she could be on the live stream for a second and that we could tell her happy birthday. So come on over. She's going to be all shy in there. She was all about it. Come on. You can come over here. All right, so this is my daughter, Ellie. She just turned 10. Your face is right in the microphone. Stand up a little bit. There you go. She just turned 10. So if everybody could say happy birthday to Ellie in the chat, she would be super pumped because she's super shy right now, but she asked if she could be on a live stream for her birthday. So happy birthday, even though your birthday just ended. But you're 10 years old now, and you can go there and watch, and everybody is going to start telling you happy birthday. Hit the like button. Throw some happy birthday Ellies in the chat. She would absolutely love it. It would make her day. I appreciate it. All right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to say anything?
No.
No? You're just going to sit here and be shy?
No.
Okay, then. All right. Well, we'll talk to you later then.
Okay.
Thank you. All right. So now that Kyle is MIA for right this second, we're going to head back to the chat. And I saw some chats while I was sitting here and he was going through some of them. I see people saying, why do I want Joe Mixon? He's on the Bengals and the Bengals suck. Well, the Panthers haven't been very good either, and Christian McCaffrey does just fine. You can't look at the overall team and say they suck. I don't want their running back because you'd be writing off a lot. The Titans weren't good a couple years ago. Derrick Henry was still doing good. I mean, there's always those opportunities for guys on bad teams to put up big years. Dalvin Cook, another example. The Vikings, they aren't great all the time, right? Dalvin Cook balling out. So you have to make sure that you weigh that and you look at that and not just write somebody off because the team sucks. There's a lot that goes into it, not just that. Warhorse sent a $30 donation that says happy birthday. So that is going to be a birthday present for Ellie. She will say thank you because we appreciate that support. Absolutely 100% love to see the community taking care of each other like that. That is very heartwarming in a world that we live in nowadays where everybody wants to hate. So to see stuff like that, really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Let's see here. What are some other questions in the... Actually, you know what? Let's give away a draft guide. Let's do that because we owe 2 draft guides because we got 10 members, right? We're at 12 members now. For every 5 that we get, I'll give away another draft guide. But who wants a draft guide? If you want a draft guide, let me know why I should pick you in the chat, and I'm going to pick somebody here in just a moment. Let's see here. Roy Kim still won't hop off Joe Mixon's sack, if you know what I mean. So, you know what? Let's just remove Roy from the chat because he has nothing positive to ever say. So let's just put him in timeout. We'll put him in timeout like a child because that's how children. Let's see. What about Latavius Murray? Tony Jones, I just lost it. Sorry, it scrolled on me. Swag about to take the mic. Oh man, if he comes back like that, it's game over for everybody. What about? Because this week was my daughter's birthday too. Jonathan, we'll tell your daughter happy birthday for us. Also, draft guide here in memory of Just One Wing. Daybreak Dawn, busting out Just One Wing on us. That goes back a little bit there. Daybreak Dawn. Because you've been here for so long and you remembered that, you're going to get one of the draft guides. So Daybreak Dawn, send me an email, info@thefantasyheadliners.com, and then I'm still looking for one more. So let's see who else has some reasons why I should select them. I want a draft guide because I tune in every Saturday. It's a good one. We're getting there. Blonde Hedge, I see you out there. Let's see what else we have. Casey Sullivan says, thoughts from both on Cephas. Well, Casey, you spent all weekend with us a couple weekends ago at the expo, and I'm going to speak for swag here right now. I don't mind Cephas, Quintez Cephas. It's just, I don't know if I'm overly excited to have him because I don't know if I can ever rely on him. And if I get to the point where I have to start him, my season's already scrapped anyway. So that's where I'm kind of on the fence. I don't know if it's somebody that has a high enough breakout ceiling. I'd rather take a Bryan Edwards later and just hope that something big happens. Anthony Matiga. I'm the
sorry.
first. You just interrupted me right in the middle of my sentence. Anthony Matiga. Let me answer his question for him. I'm the first pick in a 12-team PPR. At that 4th, 5th round spot, should I target Kareem Hunt, Myles Gaskin, or Mike Davis? if there, and they would be my running back 3. So I love that it's your running back 3. If it's a full PPR, which it says PPR, Kareem Hunt has a lot higher value. So if that's the case, I'm going to go with Hunt. I'm going to go Hunt, Davis, Gaskin, if that's a full PPR right there. And welcome back, Kyle.
My bad. Why did Warhorse send a 30 bomb and say happy birthday?
Because while you were gone, I figured it would be a good time for me to bring in Ellie and have everybody tell her happy birthday because it was her birthday this past week.
My bad. I missed it. She did stop into the gaming channel the other night to say hi, and she said it was her birthday, so I sang to her.
Yeah, you did that on her birthday night. She is on the live stream watching you play Call of Duty just so you could sing happy birthday to her.
And here's the thing. If I'm not above Ethan now on our favorite headliners behind you and Chubb, then and Taylor, I don't even know what to do anymore.
Exactly. Yeah, she sent you her headliner rankings, I think.
Isaac Cordova with a 2-bomb. Do you like Rojo and Daryl Williams as backups? Daryl Williams, I mean, I don't hate it, but really it sounds like CEH is fine now. So if I have him as like a deep stash RB5 or something like that, maybe. Rojo, it's really hard for me to touch Rojo this year because they brought Leonard Fournette back. They've got Gio Bernard that they're going to use. We know this is a high-powered throw-it-around offense. You still have, obviously, Keyshawn Vaughn there. Really hard for me to get on board with Rojo, unfortunately.
All right, I got to announce another draft guide winner. This one I'm going to pick here, and we're 3 members away from doing another one, but I'm going to give the next draft guide away to Naked Hot Dog. For one, having a really cool name. 2, says every Saturday for the past 3 years he's been watching and had an early birthday present for him. Hook it up with a draft guide, please. So Naked Hot Dog, send me an email to info@thefantasyheadliners.com, and then we'll look to give away some more here pretty soon.
Woo! Christian Manova. I really like Mixon this year. I'm not sold on Gibson, but can I really pass on Najee and take Mixon? Also, will Eckler get more touches than Taylor? Will Eckler get more touches than Taylor? It is possible.
It's going to be close.
It's going to be close, though. As far as Najee and Mixon, I've got Najee a little bit higher right now than Mixon just because first-round running back, they're going to try and just feed the crap out of him this year. So, I mean, Mixon, you know me. I love Mixon. I'm a truther, but...
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Anna, I see out there, wants to know where she was at in Ellie's rankings, and to be completely honest, Anna is like... Ellie said she wants to go and just meet Anna. Like that's all she cares about. Not us so much, Kyle. It's just about Anna. So you were probably high in the rankings. I don't know where she put you, if she included everybody or not. But
Anna was she in there? She
I don't know.
Been in there.
She may have been in there because Ellie is like obsessed with her.
Yeah, Anna was in there, but she was lower because she's not like.
What's that mean? Oh, now she's going to be pissed.
Darth Raider.
Oh, you are in so much trouble. I do not want to be you.
Darth Raider. Should I draft Clyde, James Robinson, Carson, or David Montgomery? Really need your guys' help on this one. For me, where I've got him ranked right now, it sounds like Clyde Edwards-Helaire is fine now. So I'm going CEH, David Montgomery, Carson, James Robinson.
I don't hate that. Let's see here. DFS Lil Monster says, Jake letting it flow with the helmet on got me feeling so spicy. I'm ready to put on a kid's helmet and run over my neighbor. Dude.
Love it.
If you want to do that and videotape it, I'll send you some shirts or something. But you got to tag me on Twitter when you do it because that would be amazing.
Hey, I just want to remind everyone real quick, too. Sign DeAndre Swift jersey. We've hit 330 followers or subscribers over on Headliner Breaks. So I'm going to give this bad boy away tonight on Headliner Breaks after this stream is done. But you can't win if you don't subscribe. So there is a pinned comment. There is a pinned comment here in the chat. If you click on it and go to Headliner Breaks and hit the subscribe button, there is a shot for you to win this signed DeAndre Swift jersey tonight when I do our break after the live stream.
Yep. Kyle's got some cards to break here after the live stream. If that's what you're looking for, we got you taken care of after.
Lee Craig, George Kittle or Kyle Pitts? Still Kittle for me.
Yeah, still Kittle. Love Pitts. Nothing negative against Pitts, but I got to see a little bit of it first before I can trust it. We've seen it from Kittle, and we know Jimmy G sounds like he's going to be the starter to start the season.
Cue Ball. Also, I wanted to thank you guys on all your advice at the end of last season and for this season. So far, great content, great guys. Appreciate you, Cue Ball. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Big Taz 34. Does my team suck? If you've got to start like that, I don't. Lance, Dak, Ryan, Buss, Gibson, CMC, Javonte Williams, Boyd, Callaway, Claypool, Davis, D-Hop, Lockett, Fant. Does it suck? No, Joe. No, it doesn't, Big Taz. But
why do you have 3 quarterbacks, though?
yeah, is it? I don't know. Is it super flex? Is it 2 quarterback? Who's Callaway? Marquez Callaway. I was like, wait a second. Who is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not your old flame Antonio Callaway.
Oh no, I got excited for a minute.
Yeah, that's a great overall team.
I don't think it's bad. I also don't know exactly. I mean, D-Hop, you've got your wide receiver 1, you've got your RB1 and CMC. How you got both of those guys with I don't know. If
and Gibson as well. Like that's
and Gibson. Yeah. Oscar Hernandez, thoughts on Antonio Brown, when to go for him? I'm personally staying away from him still right now. When am I going to go for him? You probably got to get him in like what, the 8th or 9th round right now?
Right now his ADP is early 9th.
Early 9th. Okay. So yeah. I don't really know if I want to spend that price on him because again, we talked about it. The ball is going to be thrown all over the place. Is it going to be him? I mean, the dude's starting fights in practice. So do we know that his head's still going to be in the game? It's one of those things where it's just so volatile. I really don't want to risk it. And is there really risk with a pick that late? No, but it's going to depend who else is there, honestly.
Yeah, it really depends on what you have already and what is available.
Yep. RH472 says, happy birthday, Ellie, with the 5 bomb in the chat.
Appreciate that.
Isaac Cordova. Who do you drop to pick up Gallman? Darrell Williams, Rojo, Odell, DJ Chark, or Higgins in a standard league? I'm dropping Darrell Williams to get Gallman.
And even then, I don't know if you're gaining too much because you're really in the same position in both sides. You're waiting for an injury to happen either way.
Yep.
I wouldn't say that one is better than the other at this given point.
Right. Zav Hayward, 10-team standard starters. Dak, Derrick Henry, Harris, Cooper Kupp, Ayuk, Fant with CH in the flex. Bench Sermon, AB, Debo, thoughts, 2 RB, 3 wide receiver, and a flex.
I like it. Noah Fant, I'm not overly high on,
right?
Just because I think he kind of gets lost in that offense with Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy and KJ Hamler. But overall, it's not bad at all.
Strong volume at the running back position. Wide receivers could be hit and miss at times. But I think there's enough upside there and you have enough safety at running back that you could end up being okay with that. I would be trying to upgrade at tight end though.
Yeah. Maybe just play it by ear the first couple weeks. I have a video coming out tomorrow. Make sure you hit subscribe to watch tomorrow because even though I'm just giving a small glimpse on a couple teams, the strategy that I discuss in tomorrow's video is going to kind of teach you how to look for different things in the draft when it comes to strength of schedule and matchups and try to play it that way. That may be something you can use for Noah Fant.
Bruce Lewis. Hey guys, wanted to thank you for helping me win my first ever fantasy league last year. Amari Cooper or Robert Woods in a full PPR format. I'm going to go Robert Woods.
Yeah, I have to agree with that one as well. You have to agree. All right, let's see here. A couple more questions. We've been on here for almost an hour and a half. One more quick update since a lot of people still want to ask about J.K. Dobbins. Obviously, we're still waiting for the results of the MRI. When that comes in, we'll make a more definite decision if you're drafting tonight to early tomorrow, whenever it may be, if the news hasn't broken yet. Really have to take it at the time of the draft, and it's not a bad option right this second just to avoid anything early Gus Edwards or early J.K. Dobbins until we get more news on that. It could really hurt your team if you make the wrong decision when we just don't have enough information to make those decisions. Let's see here. What do you think, Kyle? You want to do like 5 more questions or so in the chat?
Yeah. How many followers did I say I needed over on
350?
We've lost followers then because we were over 350 and now we're under it. So, yo, did some of you accidentally unsubscribe over there?
I thought you just said 335.
Now we're under 350.
I thought you just said it was 335.
I thought someone said it was over 350.
Oh, somebody's just lying to you.
Oh, well, maybe I'm wrong. So we're not there yet. We're at 349. So we need one more to go. So make sure you hit the subscribe button over on Headliner Breaks. MJ Will, guide can help me with my 16-team PPR league draft tomorrow. Not as prepared because of COVID. Also early B-Day, current champ.
Six-time champ. What do you?
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I think you got that league nailed down, my friend.
Whew. Right now, be right back.
What did you say?
Christian said, making a fake account. Be right back.
Attaboy, Christian. Way to be a team player. All right, a couple more questions here in the chat. Let's see here. Vixen says we're at 350 now. We got 609 out of 622 likes over here. Yeah, if we can hit that like button as we end, we would greatly appreciate that. James Robinson or David Montgomery? I still got David Montgomery slightly higher.
Yep.
I do not want to overhype Carlos Hyde, but I also know that Carlos Hyde played with Urban Meyer at Ohio State, and they brought him in there in free agency. Not that they're going to overuse him, but it wouldn't surprise me. Plus, I think they used Laviska Shenault a lot more going forward. Ron Dietz says, hello, what up? What's going on, Ron? Let's see here. Dr. Mayhem just says Matthew, so maybe he's yelling at somebody. He's scolding somebody, possibly. Full pick 2 in a full PPR. Taylor, Najee, Gibson, or Eckler. That is tough. In a full PPR, Taylor, Najee, Gibson, Eckler. Part of me wants to just say I'm going to be ballsy and go Gibson, Eckler, but I think that's a little bit risky. I think I would have to pair up one of Taylor and Najee and then one of Gibson and Eckler to kind of give me that safer floor. So I'm going to go with Jonathan Taylor. And a full PPR, go Austin Eckler. All right.
Oh, Clay C just came in with a 5-bomb. Rate my 12-team, half PPR team. Rodgers, Zeke, Najee, A-Rod, Cup, Mike Davis. Irv Smith Jr., Gus Edwards on the bench. Oh, that is a solid A. Would like maybe a little bit more consistency at tight end, but you're not going to get that with the other players that you have. So I'm going with a solid A.
Yeah, still a solid overall lineup. Let's see here. 2 more. Latavius Murray, Tony Jones Jr., Ramondre Stevenson in a standard league. Well, right now, the only one that you really know is going to get some volume. I guess you can't even say that with Latavius Murray. It's all a crapshoot right now. If you're just looking for a late round crapshoot, Ramondre Stevenson looks great in New England, but I don't think he produces Damian Harris. So it's going to be. Yep. I don't know if any of them are safe. If I have to take a stab on one, it's possible Latavius Murray, but I don't even know if I like that. Let's see here. How do you feel about Godwin? I think Godwin's still slightly undervalued. He may not be that locked and loaded top 10 wide receiver, but he plays in arguably one of the best offenses in football and a high volume passing offense. The opposing defenses can't guard everybody, so he's got to have opportunity. Touchdowns just may not be there, lowers his price tag a little bit, but yeah, I don't dislike Godwin whatsoever.
All right, Jake, did you give everybody the Dr. Ethan Turner update?
I have not yet.
Okay, so Dr. Ethan Turner in the team chat a few minutes ago said, hard to say with the injury. Hyperextension really puts the PCL and ACL at risk. Bone bruise and meniscus are most likely, but could still be major. So right now, it really is just a what's going to happen. We got to wait and see. And that's the same thing that Ethan's saying, that based on what we're seeing right now, it's hard to say until they get an MRI done and know for sure.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing is when in doubt, just wait a little bit and play it a little bit safer. You don't want to make a stupid pick and potentially harm your team for 17, 16 weeks, whatever you play on draft night. So don't do that to yourself. It can, as soon as you think you have it figured out, if you don't have all the answers, you could get blindsided. And the last thing you want to, I've seen a lot of comments on videos just today before we went live saying, hey, I've already drafted J.K. Dobbins. First of all, don't draft so early, people. Draft later. Then you'll avoid a lot of these things. But you just don't want to make that wrong choice when it's a 50-50 call like it is here with J.K. Dobbins. But we've gone through a lot of questions. We appreciate all the support, but Kyle has some football cards to break. And now that we're over the 350, he's giving away an autographed DeAndre Swift jersey that's hanging up behind him. So we're going to go ahead and get off here in just a few minutes. Kyle's going to transition over to Headliner Break, so make sure.
Around 11.
Okay.
I would say I'll be live around 11 on Headliner Break.
So in about 30 minutes or so.
Down here.
Yeah, As soon as you're about 30 minutes or so, you'll be good to go over on Headliner Break. So hit that subscribe button, hit the bell notification so you're ready to go.
James Euler just came in with a 2-bomb. Trade Kittle and Henderson for Gibson and Irv.
Kittle and Henderson for Gibson.
It depends on who else you have at running back, James. If you're really, really thin at running back, it's still really hard for me to do that. I probably hold for right now and wait and see what happens.
Yeah, I probably hold off as well because you still have the better option at tight end, and Darrell Henderson still has a higher ceiling, not as high as Antonio Gibson, but Kittle's going to outweigh Irv Smith. So, yeah, I probably hang tight there as well. But we'll go ahead and get out of here for the night. We appreciate all the support. Thank you for everybody tuning in here tonight. Appreciate all the love, all the likes, the donations. We couldn't do it without you guys here in the community. So Cal's going to go get all set up, ready to go break some cards. Head over to Headliner Breaks here in about 30 minutes. But for now, hopefully you guys have a great rest of your evening. And we'll talk to you later.